Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Ape Coin. This is going to be a macro view of it and sort of some macro plays that could be playing out in the bigger picture here. So we need to know these in order to sort of track the smaller moves within Elliott wave. So there is a lot of possibilities here. There isn't a lot of information and we need to just bear that in mind within the analysis. So I'm going to do two videos. There's going to be this one, which is a macro side, and then there's going to be a shorter term moves video as well. So I will put that in a link above. It should be on the right hand side right now, and then we will do both sides of that basically within these videos. So first off, I want to say there is not a lot of information here, so we need to just bear that in mind, that this could go a number of ways. So we just need to be a little bit cautious with how we approach things like this, because it is very hard to accurately gauge where it is within the cycle with limited amount of information. But from the information we do have, we're going to have a look at a few things here. So there are a few ways of looking at this move. So we can potentially look at this as a 5-wave move down. So now within this structure, you'd have to argue that at the beginning here, we started as a wave 1, we came up as a wave 2, and then we've actually come down as a 3, potentially a 4th wave into this high point, and then we have a few options. So either... Now, I don't really like this option, but it can technically be valid, is we can look at the fact that we've had a triangle in here as an A, B, C, D, and an E wave, but it would be a very small triangle towards the end here. It would, however, be valid because then we'd have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So technically speaking, this could mean that we actually have a 5-wave move completed into this low. However, there is another way of looking at this, which could mean that we are still actually within a 5-wave move, but we are actually looking to break down lower. And that would be that we look at all of this as a wave 1 in a diagonal, potentially forming a wave 2, then would form a 3, 4, 5, and this would form a wedge shape to the downside. So this is a possibility that could play out. So the invalidation of this is basically by moving above this $7.80. If we do take that $7.80, then we can potentially argue that we have a completed 5th wave here. But the thing is, if we do have this as a 5-wave move, effectively we would have to be cautious of this box area here, which would be a rejection zone. So what this would be looking for is that effectively we could come down into this low as a 5-wave move, we come back up as a B wave retracement, and then we actually look to break down in another C wave. So if this is the case, we'd have to be very careful here, because if we argue that we are completed, I don't think this is the most likely case, but if this is the case and we came back up, for instance, to this 0.618 line, which would be this 11,370 area, a 1-to-1 could take us down to this dollar area. So this could be a 1-to-1. It is possible for it to stop at one of these other levels, but at a minimum, we would be looking to break this low point again. So we just need to bear in mind that even if we do start to move up here in a bigger way, unless we get the correct structure here, it could actually just break down again. So we need to be careful of that. So this is the 5-wave move option. So either we are going to basically form this as just an ABC move to the upside, and then this is going to start to break down again, and we'd be expecting to see 3-wave structure down and looking to take this low, effectively then forming a wave 3 as a 3-wave move. So this is something that's still on the cards. Until we cross this high point, basically we need to be aware of that. So how else can we look at this move? So this is looking at that as a 5-wave move. So potentially we still need to look to go lower here. So we can argue that instead of looking at it as a 5-wave move, let me remove this. What we can look at is we can look at this as potentially having a triangle in this move. So this is probably one of my more preferred counts, and that would be looking at this slightly different. This way, we wouldn't be looking at this move upwards being as part of this corrective structure, and what we would be looking at is potentially that this has ended in a diagonal to the upside here, and this was a 5th wave. So if that's the case, that means we start from this point. So this is sort of open to interpretation, because we don't have enough detail within the structure to actually map it out well. So if this is the case, what we could actually have here is this is an A wave, and then we could be just range bound here for a while. So this is the thing, is people often think that this either needs to go up or down, but markets can remain range bound for a long time and then actually move after a long period. So we need to just bear in mind that what we'd be looking for here is the fact that this could be an A. This, instead of looking at it as a triangle within this structure like we're looking at it for the fourth wave, we can argue that this is an A, this is a 5-wave move, this is A, B, C, D, E into here, and that would be, so this is basically an A, B, C into this low. In which case, for the time being at least, we only have a 3-wave move here. So if this move fails to break above the 780 zone, we could actually form a C-wave high. So this C-wave high could potentially end within the 6331 to the 6851. That zone there, or potentially as high as the 774. As long as it doesn't cross this 780 area, it remains valid that we could actually just look at this as a triangle. So what we would be expecting is, if this is a triangle, we'd see this play out as an ABC to the upside, then we'd get this rejection and we'd break back down. But we'd find support above this B wave. So this B wave sits here at this, let's get right on it, this 2618. If we remain above this B wave high, then we would have to be on the lookout for getting another 3-wave move to the upside and then actually looking for a rejection to the downside here. So we need to just be aware of this. This is something that can play out. And we could remain range bound here for a long period of time. And this could just basically just bounce between these two areas. So this is something that we're looking out for within the structure, that we could have this as a triangle. So if this is a triangle, potentially, depending exactly how this plays out, but we could look to potentially move down as low as this 87-cent range, which would actually be lower than the charts actually has information for at the moment on this. So, you know, it doesn't have to. These other green lines are potential areas that we could look to travel if we don't travel to that 1-to-1. So that would be the 0.618, the 702, 786, 854. So these would be zones that we could actually look to potentially target out if we do look to break down for the C wave. So this is something we just need to keep an eye on within the structure. If this does take this A wave, we'd still have to be careful of this zone here, and basically that would be looking at this potentially turning into something else. Instead of being a triangle, we could actually develop a 5-wave move to the upside here, where this is a 1, 2, we form a 3, 4, 5, and then it still breaks down. So there's a few things that need to happen for confirmation of like a bullish move here. This is far too early for us to say that we're in a new trend to the upside. So yeah, we just need to bear that in mind. So I'm going to flip over here to, basically this is looking at that option. So this would be looking at this as potentially looking to set up for a flat correction here. So then as an expanding flat, what we'd be looking for within the structure is this to be a 1, 2, potentially 3, 4, and a 5 up into this zone. So this would actually take this A wave high. So that would then put us in a situation that we'd have a 5-wave move. So this is still theoretical at this point. We haven't actually got more than a 3-wave move here. So, but if we do actually push up, and the ideal area for this target zone would be, if I just throw this onto here, for a 5-wave move, the ideal wave 3 would be this $7.787. So if we do actually move past and take this A wave high, then it's possible we could actually see a move down for a 4th wave again, and then potentially push up for a 5th. This would then put us right in this sort of situation where we could either look at this as a X wave in the connection here, or a B wave. So either that would mean we're going to get a 3-wave move to the downside, or we're going to get a 5-wave move. We'd have to wait and see. The only way that this would flip bullish at this point would be on the retracement of this wave. And what we would want to see is, basically, if I throw this fib onto here, let's get rid of the smaller one here for a second. What we would want to see at this point would then actually be a breakdown and finding support between this 50% and this 786 ideally would be the ideal spot to find support. It can wick down, sort of down towards this 854 and areas like that, but typically speaking, if we're looking for a trending move to the upside, we'd want to see it stop between this 786 and the 618 area. 50% can sometimes be a target area, but most of the times it comes down a bit deeper. So then we'd be looking for the potential to actually break to the upside. So we need more confirmation for this. like I said, we could just form a 3-wave move and then form a triangle and fall back down and sort of test the lower range of this triangle again. So, you know, there's nothing really confirmed here at the moment. So we've got to give it a little bit of space and see how it goes. If we do get this 5-wave move up, we'd want to find support in that zone and then look for that next push to the upside. So that is what we are looking at within sort of these bearish options. So if we had to argue that we came up towards this this 5-wave area, let's go to that zone there. Potentially 1-to-1 would be this $1.06. So like I said, the minimum area is the 0.618, so $2.46, which would be basically just making a new low point here. It would only be just, but it can potentially push much deeper in this zone. So it is possible that this move can still break down and we can still look for more downside. So everyone just be careful with that. The other potential that we have within this, if I can find it, where's it gone? There we go. Is the fact that we could actually just look at this as a WXY. So this is all taking into account that this is part of the previous wave, which there's no guarantee that it is. But if it is, what we'd be looking for is that we could potentially count this as a ABC into here as a 535, and then basically we could look at this as potentially completing with a short Y wave. It would have traveled the minimum here, and it has taken this W wave high or low in this instance. So it is possible that we could actually be starting to move to upside here in a bullish trend, but we need more confirmation, like I said. So if this is the case, we have a couple of options. Either we can look at this potentially as a 5-wave move to the upside, but like I said previously, we need to move above this zone here. I just want to double check this. So 8063, so it's slightly out. So we'd have to move up above this 8063 for it to become valid within this scenario. And that would be looking at the fact that we have this structure here as a wave 1, 2, looking for that 3rd wave, 4th wave and 5th wave to the upside. So it is possible that this could play out, but basically within this structure, what we would need to see is an additional 4th wave down here and then a push up again to find this 5th wave. Alternatively, there could be some extension within this move. So this is looking at it sort of just as a simple 5-wave move, in which case we would be looking for this potential of forming this 4th wave now and getting a push up for a 5th, looking to target out that zone of that $8.63 for a confirmation of this 3rd wave. So this is the impulsive wave we could look at this. The thing is, like I said, even if we do get this 5-wave move to the upside here, we would have to be careful because that would put us right in that zone of a typical rejection area. So we could still look at this potentially as an ABC. So once this would play out, effectively we need to see how if we manage to find support rather in that zone. If we fail to find it, we could just be setting up for another 5-wave move to the downside, or it could be a 3-wave move. We'll have to wait and see. So basically we need to see these support zones hold, and I mean I can work this out roughly, that if we came down and we retested the same 4th wave, we could actually look to push roughly, like I said, this is all rough at the time because we don't have the structure, but potentially to this $10.70 to this $9.51 could be a 5th wave move, depending exactly how far this 4th wave move comes in, and if it in fact comes in, because all we have is a 3-wave move at the moment. Okay, so let's talk about the other more bullish option within this. So this, like I said, this is very speculative at this point. We need to see how the waves play out, but potentially we can argue that we have a much bigger 5-wave move starting here, where we actually look at this as a 1-2, this is a 1-2, and then potentially we're starting to form a bigger 3rd wave here. So this is very speculative at this point and relies completely on holding this $4.47 area. If we lose this 447 area, effectively this would invalidate this count. So the way we'd be looking at this is potentially as a 1-2, 1-2, and then finally forming this 3rd wave of the 3rd wave here. The thing with this is effectively what we'd want to do here is we'd want to actually come back down, form this wave 2 in this 5360 area, and actually look to push up again. So this would be looking for continuation in this manner, and This would only get validated by moving up above this 8917. If we fail to reach that, effectively it would mean that these other targets wouldn't get met either. So this green wave, the typical third wave area, is this 8917. This yellow wave over here, this typical third wave area is this 1060. So we'd actually have to push up much higher for this to become validated. But effectively, if we do push up past this 891, this would then allow for the potential of pushing up again within this. This would then give us a bigger 5-wave structure here, and then once again we would still have to be careful on that retracement. If we wanted to see this play out, we would be looking for the potential of this becoming a 1, 2, and then look for that third wave to the upside. But that would then only be confirmed by pushing up much higher. Once again, we would have to push up potentially past this much higher than this this high point that we got here. So until we actually get the confirmation here, we could potentially look to invalidate all these bullish options. But yeah, it is possible that we could see some bigger structure develop here to the upside, and we will be tracking it and keeping you up to date. So if you are new to the channel, why not hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all the latest videos. Also, leave us a like and a comment. We really appreciate the support. If you do that, it does help boost the algorithm, which helps the channel out, and we do appreciate that. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave the video there for now. So this is just a macro view. So there is still potential for this bullish upside here, but we need to start hitting these impulsive triggers. And within this, effectively we would have to hold this $4.47.50 area and this 3.254. If we lose these two zones, effectively this is invalidated and the bullish option falls apart. So we just need to give it a bit more time and see how we react within this. There is potential to become bullish here, but until we actually get this 5-wave move play out, even with the extensions, we'd have to still be cautious on that retracement, because this could just fall apart as a bigger flat correction and breakdown. So we just need to give it some time. Be careful out there with this, everyone. I know there's a lot of FOMO out there, and potentially there are better times to enter this, you know, potentially after this 5-wave move has completed and you making that retracement, because the problem is at the moment we don't know. This could just reverse to the downside from this point. So it's one of those things. It needs some time, and you know, you can potentially look to trade these, but you need to have good risk management within that, because these can turn around on you very quickly, especially when we're looking for you know, incomplete counts here, and we're sort of assuming a lot of things within this count. So we need to just be careful. Okay, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down below. We really appreciate it. And just remember, these waves, there's a lot of speculation on where this is going. We need the confirmation for the waves to come in before we can sort of confirm either of these options are available or valid rather. So we just need to wait a little bit, see how we react, and then from there we can gauge it better. But I do hope you found it useful. If you did, really appreciate a comment. Okay, everyone, we'll see you in the next video. Take care out there.